And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel. Today we're taking a look at the first expansion to Shards of Infinity. Now, Shards of Infinity is a game I really enjoyed. It basically is very similar to other deck building attack games out there, but with experience and with mercenary cards. I really enjoyed the combos. I was also very anxious for there to be some sort of expansion. This one is actually a pretty small expansion, just a few cards that it includes, but it does the one thing that I really wanted from the original one, which is where the original one there was no special abilities between the characters. You just pick the character, who cares. Now picking the character does matter somewhat. Let me show you. All right, there's not a ton of cards in this set. It's going to be pretty easy to go over all of them. There's some cards for each of the different sections. So we have, for example, these Cloud Oracles, which let you draw a card, and if you have more experience than everyone else, get 2 extra. So that's not too bad. Then we have, these are kind of basic cards. So there's 3 of each. Here, Inspire. If you control a champion, you can banish a card from your hand or discard pile. So that's a good way to get rid of cards from your hand. These guys have Echo. If there's a Wraith card in your discard pile, you get 3 attack. And so I've always liked that idea. I'm kind of a fan of the Wraiths. Undergrowth ally, draw a card, and if you've already played another Undergrowth ally this turn, you gain 3 health. There's also some champions here. So the champions are pretty cool. This champion here can't be attacked with attack played by players who have less experience than you, so that's pretty cool. If you can get your experience higher than everybody else, they're essentially invincible. This one here, you can exhaust to copy the effect of someone else. I'm always a big fan of copying effects. This person can ignore shields this turn, which is really cool, but you need to have 10 experience. And then this person can be exhausted for 7 attack, and they have 7 health, which is a pretty cool combo. Now, this stuff here is neat, but what we want to take a look at in this particular game, or this particular expansion, is some cards that are specifically for the different characters. So, for example, here, you get 6 attack with this. If you're Kosun Wu, you may banish a card from your hand or discard pile. So there's 2 of each of these. Here, this one gained 5 health, and if you're Volos, get 5 attack, which is really a cool card, because it's a swing of 10, essentially. Here, draw a card. If you're Terra, gain an experience. So, again, they're kind of really focusing on the fact that these guys are the experienced guys. And here, my champions have an extra 2 attack, and I gain 1 money for each Homodius champion you have in play. So again, these work, and they're not horrible cards if you are not that person, but if you are that person, they're amazing. But they're not quite as amazing as the relic cards. So the game comes with relic cards, and these are set aside, and you can give them to each person. So, for example, I can give both of these here to the one character. You can draft them, you can do them randomly, you can do whatever you want. So you all have a special ability here, but you don't get these till you hit 10. When you hit 10, you can basically recruit one of your 2 relics. You put it in your discard the same way as you can. So you're going to try to pick the best one for you at that point in time. So they're pretty cool. This one here, gain 2 experience and 2 health. And then when you get to 20, they become even better. If you played another Undergrowth ally this turn or reveal one from your hand, gain 50. Boom! That's pretty cool. This one here gives you 10. Draw 2 cards, gain that for each health that you gain this turn. These are like amazingly powerful cards. Look at this one here. This was like a super attack. When you play a champion, return this from your discard pile to your hand, and it gives you 8 attack. Or 12 attack if you have 20. This gives me 3 shields, or 6 instead. This one here gives me experience, but eventually I'm going to get attack equal to my experience instead of half. That's really powerful. It does half your experience attack, and then it becomes equal to your experience. So these cards are like game-swinging, smashing cards at the end. Here I can return a mercenary from my discard pile to my hand, return all mercenaries from your discard pile to your hand. This really helps with mercenaries. And this one just does 5 attack or can be a 10 attack. And if I do unprevented damage to my opponent, I draw an extra 3 cards at the end of the turn. The game also comes with rules. So these are rules that tell you how to use the relics. They have some variants, 2 versus 2, 3-player bloodbath, a single-player mode, and then some ways to deal with relics and health auction, etc. So that's what's in this expansion. So there you go. That's the expansion. Now, this is a good expansion. I'm glad, easy to add. The thing that would keep me from calling it great is I just feel like there's a very small amount of combat. Sorry, buddy. 32 cards. That's not a ton, right? I mean, I guess you can't expect that much in here, but it doesn't. First of all, you can add this in. You don't even notice. The deck isn't diluted at all, so you're fine in that regard. The different relics, those are great though. And so because they're so good, I don't care. I like the fact that there's cards in there for specific characters, although at this point when you see one, sometimes you'll just hate buy it, buy it just so someone else doesn't get it because it's so good for them. And it still works for you in that regard, but if you get your own, oh, life is good. And the relics, again, this pushes that experience thing so much, you're like, I want to get 10 experience to put one of these relics in my deck and then get to 20, that relic becomes amazing. And I really like that aspect of the game. You now have these 2 relics, they're both really powerful. I don't even mind drafting them. I like that they're tied to a specific character, but you could draft them and have 2 different relics at the beginning of the game and go, oh, they're both pretty cool, which one am I going to use? So this adds that variance between the characters that I really like, and then add some more basic good cards. So it's a fine expansion. Like I said, going to throw it right into the game and probably never teach new people without it because it's that easy to put in there and play with. So does exactly what I want. Shards of Infinity, Relics of the Future. Dice Tower Judgment approved.